Hello friends, today we're going to be looking at solving equations with one variable. As you can see, I have my guided notes. I have my directions right up here at the top. If you need to reference them, you have them. Let's go ahead and dive into some examples. Looking at question 1, we have x minus 3 equals negative 5. I identify my x as my variable. This is the number I do not know how much it is worth. I have my constant, which is minus 3, and I have the rest of my balanced equation. I want to get my variable by itself or isolate it. So in order to do that, I'm going to use the inverse operations. Inverse operations means do the opposite of what you see. You see minus, so you're going to add that constant of 3. Now, if we think of this as a balanced scale, it is a balanced equation. So a balanced scale, if you add to one side, you have to add the same amount to the other side in order to keep it balanced. This zeroes out, and on the left I have x. Negative 5 plus 3 is a negative 2, so I believe that my solution is x equals negative 2. Now, obviously, I want to check my work. X minus 3 equals negative 5. In order to do that, I'm going to substitute. So every time I see x, I'm going to put negative 2. So negative 2 minus 3 is equal to negative 5, or so I believe. Negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5, which is in fact equal to negative 5. That checks out, so my solution is x equals negative 2. Let's kick it up just a little bit. Here we have negative n over 5 equals 3. If you have forgotten, this bar right here, this fraction bar, also is a division bar. So this would be n divided by negative 5 equals 3. If you need to rewrite it just so that you can please whatever sense you have, that's fine. Some people like to rewrite it. Here I can see I have my variable, I have my constant, and then there's my balanced equation. I need to isolate my variable by using the inverse operations. Inverse operation of division is multiplying negative 5. Whatever I do to one side, I'm going to do to the other. So we have n is equal to 3 times a negative 5, which would be a negative 15. So I have my solution, or what I believe my solution would to be is negative 15. I'm going to check. Negative n over 5 equals 3. I believe n is a negative number, so this negative is going to drop into the denominator. Negative 15 divided by negative 5 equals positive 3. I know that if I have a negative and I divide by a negative, I am going to get a positive. 15 divided by 5 is 3. So that does check out, and my solution is n equals negative 15. Let's slide on down here to get examples 3 and 4. In these examples, we have an extra step. As you can see, we have negative 2 equals x over 9 plus 5. So here we have something happening to the variable, and we have this constant out here. So the first thing I'm going to do is inverse operations to remove the constant. Opposite of adding is subtracting. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other. So on the right-hand side, we have x over 9. On the left-hand side, negative 2 minus 5 is negative 7. Now I have x divided by 9. So I'll be using the inverse operations again, this time to isolate my variable. Opposite of division is multiplication. So multiply 9 on both sides. 9 times negative 7 would be negative 63. 9 divided by 9 is 1, so I have x. I believe that my solution is x equals negative 63. Of course, I have to check that out. Negative 2 equals x over 9 plus 5. There are a couple different ways you can do this. The first way you can do this is to go ahead and isolate that x over 9 by subtracting 5 from both sides. -7 equals x over 9. Then substitute in this -7 equals -63 over 9. Again, these are all hypothetical, of course, until we know it's true. -63 divided by 9. Negative divided by a positive is a negative. 63 divided by 9 is 7. So that is correct. The other way you could have done this is to go ahead and put that -63, substitute it in for your variable, and then work out the problem. So I could have said, let me use a different color so you can see my different thinking. -2 equals -63 over 9 plus 5. Of course, I don't know for sure. -2 equals negative divided by a positive is a negative. 63 divided by 9 is 7 plus 5. -2 equals -7 plus 5, -2. So it checks out that way as well. Of course, whichever one of these strategies works best for you, please do that. Math is all about different types of patterns, and everybody sees patterns in different ways. All right, one more. We have 3x plus 8 equals 29. I need to get this variable isolated. In order to do that, I'm using inverse operations. Opposite of adding is subtracting. Balance the equation by doing it on both sides. Inverse operations. I end up with 3x on the left. 29 minus 8 is 21. Again, I'm going to use inverse operations to isolate the variable. I'm seeing multiply. I'm going to divide by 3 on both sides. X is equal 21 divided by 3 is 7. So I believe x is equal to 7. Let's check that out. 3x plus 8 equals 29. 3 times 7 plus 8 equals 29 is my hypothetical. 3 times 7 is 21 plus 8 could equal 29. 21 plus 8 is 29, which does equal 29, and my solution is x equals 7. At this point, I want you to pause the video and try the you try 1 and you try 2. When you are finished, you can resume the video, and I will go over those so you can check your work. Good luck. I know you are going to do great. Go ahead and pause the video, you try 1 and you try 2. And you're back. How did you do? How did you feel? Did you refer back to those steps at the top when you got stuck? Did you rewind the video and listen to one of the previous examples when you got stuck? Or maybe you didn't get stuck. Looking at you try 1, isolating using inverse operations. Remember, as we have decimals, I need to keep that decimal lined up. I have to regroup. 12 tenths minus 8 tenths is 4 tenths. 8 minus 4 is 4. So I believe m is 4 and 4 tenths using inverse operations to find my solution. My check would be 4 and 4 tenths plus 4 and 8 tenths equals 9 and 2 tenths. Now, my brain does not like to add horizontally, so I would rewrite this. 4 and 4 tenths plus 4 and 8 tenths. 4 and 8 are 12. The 2 stays in the tenths. That decimal just drops. Regroup. 4 and 4 are 8, and 1 more is 9. So it does work out. If you did well, give yourself a pat on the back. And if you didn't, that's okay. That's why we have these videos, so you can go back and review. Also, you can ask questions in class. Here we have -8 plus 10c equals 102. We're going to isolate that variable by adding 8 to both sides, leaving 10c equals 110. Isolate that variable through inverse operations. I see multiplication, so I'm going to divide. And we have that c is equal to 11. through inverse operations twice, and our solution. I'm going to check negative 8 plus 10 times 11 could equal 102. Negative 8 plus 10 times 11 would be 110, could equal 102. Negative 8 plus 110, or 110 minus 8, would be 102, which does in fact equal 102. My solution is that the variable c is equal to 11. How'd you do? I hope you're feeling well. I hope you feel confident with this. You have some example questions down here, 1 through 4. Go ahead and choose 2 of those to finish off your homework so that you have a good understanding, or you know what you need to ask in class tomorrow, and I will see you then.